How is it that it's come to pass that Dionysus can be talking about other people's lack of intellectual integrity? I mean,
Oh, fuck.
what the hell is this? I mean, there hasn't been a person who's like shown less intellectual integrity than Dionysus, right? Probably like in the entire history of the Western world. And he's complaining about other people's lack of intellectual integrity? I mean, this is just laughable.
Shots fired.
Just like your complete misunderstanding of Schopenhauer's position, right, Einstein?
See, now here's where Dionysus starts to lash out incoherently.
How is that incoherent?
When it gets pointed out that he's completely dishonest, right? I mean, what the hell is?
Okay, here we're going to go with, like, listen to Jack lecture and give insults for the next 30 minutes. Go ahead, Jack. The stage is yours, buddy.
No, I don't want to insult you, right? I'm asking the other people in the room why they want to listen.
Dude, even your own friends, like Helena, don't even trust you.
Shut up.
Look, faggot, don't tell me to shut up. I know, I won't shut up.
Shut up.
No, I won't shut up. No, I won't shut up, Jack.
Mute.
Jack, you don't too. I will, dude, I will
stop. Dio, stop interrupting or I'm going to have to mute you.
I'm simply asking the other people in the room why they want to listen to a bloviating idiot 8 hours a day or 12 hours a day. I mean, all he does is he comes in here, right? He sits here all day, right, while he gets progressively more inebriated, right? And then just, spouts opinions, right, that he never can support. Right? Just like all day long. I mean, why are we listening to this? He's now talking about other people's lack of intellectual integrity. I mean, has there ever been a person who's been more laughably exposed for his inability to defend anything that he says than Dionysus? And he's going to talk. He's going to talk about other people's lack of intellectual integrity. Why are we listening to this?
Who did he say had a lack of intellectual integrity?
Does it matter? Does it matter?
For a second. Well, I'm just trying to understand what you're so upset about.
He's trying to claim that the left has some kind of lack of intellectual integrity, right? This person who's been humiliated over and over and over again, right, on every single issue he's bothered to open his mouth about, right, is talking about the lack of intellectual integrity of other people. Why are we listening to this?
Oh, fuck.
You ask, why are we listening? And I think you probably should be asking yourself, why are you listening?
Why don't you tell me Schopenhauer's position again, Jack? You don't agree with the position because you don't understand how the noumenal world can operate on the phenomenal world? Now explain how that's Schopenhauer's position, Jack.
See,
all right.
Look at what he's doing now.
Yeah, I'm showing you that you're an ass, dude. That's what I'm trying to show you. You are this cult figure that a lot of people who don't have enough independence follow, right? You're a cult leader. That's what you are.
It's irrelevant to the point that I'm making.
You can't even afford to pay for your own food. People have to pay for you.
See, so what you're doing is, rather than answering the objection that I'm making, right, which is what you always do, right, is you just start to lash out and make personal attacks. Because that's your only recourse, right, in these situations.
I just like to point out that saying the word right after every statement a person says doesn't make your previous statement right.
We get a mute on this.
Not a man that goes out and tries to go into a professional.
This incredulous guy, right, has just been talking nonstop for about 24 hours. And I haven't heard him say one valuable thing in the whole time I've been here. Right? Like, why do you guys want to listen? Why do you guys want to listen to complete morons just bloviate all? I just don't understand.
Oh my god!
Well, you're talking about the wisdom guy.
Wisdom, sorry. Yeah, what the fuck is
Yeah.
this guy? He came in here and he hasn't stopped talking for about 20 hours. He hasn't said one.
No, I haven't said anything for over 2 hours, motherfucker.
That's not true, Wisto.
Okay, at
Jesus.
least an
That's a
hour.
lie.
Hell, a
That's like
satire
that.
and Sunseeds was talking for over an hour. I didn't say
I
a
mean,
fucking
every
word.
time he opens his mouth, it's completely worthless. Right?
Yeah,
What the
Carol,
hell is
you can say right at the end of every statement doesn't make your statements right.
Yeah,
You
like
need to
why
understand
do I
that.
want to
Damn,
listen
I
to
don't want
somebody?
wisdom here.
Huh?
I don't even hear anything wisdom says because I keep just tuning him out.
It's a nightmare.
I barely fucking said anything in the last hour.
Why don't you just stop
Who
talking?
are you people?
Yeah, Jack. Jack, if you're hungry today, I'll send you some money, buddy. I'll do you a solid. You need money, Jack?
Who are you
Now
people?
Dionysus is
Jesus.
doing the
You
thing
gotta
where
give the month.
Do you need money, Jack?
now Dionysus is doing the thing where he lashes out and
I'm
tries
not.
to
What are you doing, Jack?
because he has
this
no
is
way. Stop
this is
over
hilarious. This is a
stop
farce.
over talking me because he has no way of defending himself. Right.
Right.
Jack, I'm doing the mirror thing. I'm your reflection. I'm doing exactly what you're doing to me, buddy. Again.
How about
Once
that?
again,
Now, again, tell me.
Dionysus.
I won't lash out. I won't lash out.
Oh,
Now,
shit.
Jack, tell me how.
Once
How
again,
Schopenhauer's position is that the
again,
noumenal world affects the
once
phenomenal
again,
world. Now, tell me how that's Schopenhauer's position.
once again. That's
Again, he won't.
entirely irrelevant. Sorry. Once again,
I want to
Dionysus,
answer. Notice how you
please.
won't answer the
once
question. Jack
once
can't answer the
again,
question.
once
Stop for a
again, once
second.
again,
Dio, calm down, dude.
once again, once again, Schopenhauer or anybody's position on Schopenhauer is entirely irrelevant to the issue that I raised. And the only reason why you're raising it, right, is because it's the only shred of self-respect you have is this pathetic belief that you think that you could pin me and show that
Oh, I
I'm
know I
wrong
can,
about
because
some
you're
aspect.
fucking wrong about
Stop
it.
over talking me. That
You're wrong
only hope
because you
in
fucked
trying
up, and you know you fucked
stop
up.
over talking me. Your only hope, right, in trying to preserve whatever tiny shred of self-respect that you have is this pathetic belief that somehow I've made some kind of an error in talking about Schopenhauer that you think that you're competent to show, right? But even if you could show that, right, which is laughable, right? It's entirely irrelevant to the issue that I've raised, right? Which is that you're the most intellectually dishonest person in the entire history of the Western world. And you're talking about how other people are intellectually dishonest. Why would we want to listen to that? In fact, it's a mark of your intellectual dishonesty that you're bringing up Schopenhauer at this point, right? Because rather than address the issue that's been raised, right, you're so dishonest, right, that you have to come up with something that's entirely unrelated to the topic.
Well,
And
let's just measure each other
stop
as
over
men.
talking me and trying to lash out, right, and make
What do you think that
stop
you're
over
doing right
talking
now?
me. Stop over talking.
What do you think that you're doing
Somebody
right
mute
now,
him.
Jack? You're lashing
Somebody
out.
prevent him from over talking me. All you can do, right, because you're such a fucking dishonest person.
Was Jack muted?
Hey, Jack, I think you would have to prove that I was intentionally being deceitful in order for me to be dishonest, right?
Okay.
Who
Prevent him from
muted
over
Jack?
talking me. It was Dionysus.
I didn't mute you. See, this is another thing. He doesn't even have the decency or the integrity to check the fucking audit log, you fucking moron.
We know that you abuse mods, right?
Look,
so it's a reasonable
I've used
inference.
mods. I'd like to see that evidence, faggot.
Do I just need to get Tamar in here?
Just look at the evidence. We have the audit log to look at.
I didn't say, right? I said that it was a reasonable inference because you
No,
abuse
it's not a reasonable
mods,
inference.
right?
I
Now, if
hardly
you're
ever
going to
use mods.
deny that you abuse
Justin was the
mods,
person
right?
who muted you.
Yeah, Dio
Justin
did.
was the person who muted you. What the fuck?
Yeah, Dio didn't mute you.
Justin. I
Yeah,
don't know
that's
why
fine.
he did
It doesn't
that.
matter, right? The point is he should have been muted. Okay, now what I was saying before was that it's a mark of your intellectual dishonesty, right? That whenever you get attacked on any issue, right, what you do is engage in personal attacks on the person attacking you right, rather than address the issues, right? And that's exactly what you're doing by trying to bring up Schopenhauer, right? As pathetic and stupid as it is to think, right, that you have the intellectual capacity to show that I'm wrong about something about Schopenhauer,
I
whatever the
know the
fuck
anal
that is.
sex thing you were
Stop
wrong
over
about.
talking me.
Well, dude, you
Okay?
keep saying the same
Stop
shit over and
over
over again.
talking me.
Well, stop saying the
Stop
same
over
thing.
talking me.
You're a
Stop
soundboard.
over talking me.
You're a soundboard.
Okay, yeah. Is he going to continue to overtalk me? Because I'm
Let's-
just going to stop if he's not muted. Okay, right. As laughable as it is to think, right, that if we were to get into some kind of debate, right, you would have the intellectual capacity to show that I was wrong about anything, right? When you're a complete fucking moron, right? It's
Yeah,
entirely
I may be a moron, Jack.
Stop. Is he going to keep overtalking?
The fuck?
It's
This is not.
entirely irrelevant, right? Right? It wouldn't show anything about how what I said about you, right, being completely fucking worthless, right? That all you do is shoot your mouth off about stuff that you can't defend all day long, right? It wouldn't show anything about that being false, right? If in fact I happen to be mistaken about some things, right? And see, that's just another mark of your intellectual dishonesty. Now, why would we want to listen to that?
So, can I reply now?
What are you going to do? Start trying to make personal attacks on me again?
I am actually not going to make a personal attack. But so first of all, when you first came in, I showed you because you tried to correct me or tried to poke fun at the fact that I said that there was probably a relationship between the increase of anal sex and colon cancer in the youth, right? We actually showed and we provided the evidence this morning. A lot of us that did that this morning are here today, right now, listening to this. So that's one thing that I was able to.
Dionysus was that the evidence?
That was one thing that I was
Dionysus-
able to support. We were
Dionysus-
able to make a good inference on Josh.
Dionysus was that the evidence from the corrupt liberals? Is that the evidence that you're talking about?
No, that's not. It's not even related.
Okay, so when studies back up your claims, they're good, but
No,
when
Jack
backup
made a
claims
claim
don't,
that I
they're
don't back
not?
up things that I say, and I'm giving an example, right?
Well, wait a
Now-
minute. What I understood you to say was that you believed, right, that the rise in anal sex caused by the rise in homosexuality led to a rise in colon cancer.
No,
You
that's not what I
hadn't-
said.
You hadn't consulted any
It's
studies.
not what I said. How do you know what I
Right.
consulted?
You have said that before, Dio.
Because you said you hadn't
specifically said that to
consulted
me
any. You
before.
said that
No, I
you
didn't.
just had a
You told me that
belief.
you thought I'd get colon
right?
cancer.
And you'd
Well,
be
it's just between
the
Jack and I.
worst.
Can Jack and I?
I don't
have this-
understand why Dionysus continues to.
Dude, you've been talking, dude. Like
Hey,
seriously,
will somebody
it's a
shut
fucking monologue.
up? If
Dio,
our-
stop over talking.
Okay. Now, what I heard you say yesterday.
I'm pretty sure it was my turn to talk, right?
Dio.
Dio, stop.
Okay.
No.
Now, what I heard Dionysus say yesterday, right, was that the rise in colon cancer, he was willing to bet that the rise in colon cancer was due to the rise in anal sex caused by the rise in homosexuality, right? Now, let's say...
No, that's not what I said.
Okay, will somebody shut him up?
Well, stop strawmanning my position,
Somebody
faggot.
going to shut him up?
Then stop strawmanning my position.
Plotting the room, because I'm just not going to continue if he keeps...
Dio, look, Dio, just stop unmuting yourself.
No,
okay?
don't
Like,
unmute him. Take away his
No.
fucking mods.
you're muted, Dio.
Okay, thank you. Now, what I heard him say was that he was willing to bet that that was the case, right? Now, let's grant for the sake of argument that there are studies that support that, right? How is the fact that he's found studies to support that, right, show that he has had any justification for believing that in the first place, right? That's just a Gettier case, right? The question is, why would he be willing to bet that that was true, right? When he had no evidence to believe that, right? When he had no argument to believe that, right? He had no independent justification to believe it, right? So let's just say, for the sake of argument, maybe he found some studies that supported that belief. How does that show that he's any less of a fucking idiot for being willing to bet that, right? When he had no justification for believing it. It's just a Gettier case.
Okay, I mean, I don't think that this is being fair because I'm not able to reply, right? He's just going off of monologues, right? So, no, I had seen studies. I said based on those studies, and I didn't say because of homosexuality. I said because there was an increased frequency in heterosexual couples engaging in anal sex, and that was causing anal sex. And you can look at the evidence because you can see that the main people that are getting, or the main sex that are getting colon cancer, are females at an early age. This is where this is the rise in that. This is called an inference. This is what we do in science. I have a science degree, buddy. You don't. All right. So I don't need to be taught about how science works from you. All right.
You're so stupid. You can't even understand the objection that I made. You complete fucking dumbass.
Yeah, you want epistemic certainty. You want epistemic certainty, right? I know what the Gettier case is.
The objection is what actually justifies.
Why are you interrupting me? Why is he not being modded?
Stop over talking.
No, I was talking first. I was talking first.
Stop over talking.
I was talking first.
Hey,
no, I was talking first.
I'm out. I'm about to leave. I know I said I'll never come back, but I needed to come back for this. Hey, Dio, there's where you said you would promise not bringing up my personal shit. Get wrecked, asshole.
Well, I'm sorry.
Oh,
well, Joe, then. All right.
Okay, so the objection is, right, that you had no justification to believe it, right? You had no justification to believe, right, because you didn't have any independent justification, right, that because there was a correlation, right?
Yeah, it's called an hypothesis, you fucking moron.
Right? So the point is, when you said you were willing to bet that that was the case, right, that was just another example of you being willing to bet that something was true because you wanted it to be true, right? Which is what you do in every discussion, right? In every discussion, right? All you do is argue for things that you want to be true, right?
What do you
Even
think
when
you
you
do,
have
Jack?
no argument?
What do you think you do, Jack?
Right? Even when you have no justification for believing those
How do you
things.
know I didn't have
And
justification?
it doesn't matter. Is somebody going to prevent him from over-talking me? It doesn't matter how many arguments are given that you can't fucking answer, right? It doesn't matter how many times you're humiliated over and over again for being a complete fucking dumbass who opens his mouth, right? You never change your views on anything, right? So you, having found some study that happens to support something that you want to believe, right, doesn't show that you were justified in believing it in the first place. That's the objection. Right?
Jack.
And it doesn't matter how many times I repeat this objection, you're not going to understand it, and you're going to respond to me, right, in some way that doesn't address the objection.
You want to raise it to some type of epistemic certainty in every situation, right? And that's just not how science works, right? We make inferences, right? And we form hypotheses, and then we test those hypotheses. That's how science works, right? Now I said.
So now
I thought. Excuse me. I was talking. Now. Follow your own fucking rules. All right. Follow your own fucking rules.
Somebody mute him, please.
I was talking first. No, I will fucking mute you,
faggot. If you were talking.
I will mute you now because you're interrupting me.
Somebody mute him.
Okay? I was talking first.
Once again,
I was talking first, and now you're interrupting me.
I don't care if you were talking.
Okay, see, he doesn't care, right? So now I'm going to mute you because you're interrupting me.
Now
I'm going to
No, don't, Dio, no. Oh, Jesus Christ.
So now Dionysus didn't even address the objection that I made. He went off on a tangent, just like I predicted, right? So what is the point of having this discussion? Right? I'm just going to repeat the objection, and then he's just going to make an irrelevant, some kind of irrelevant response that doesn't address the objection, and it's just going to go on and on again, right? Did I say anything about epistemic certainty? Let me just ask the room. Did I say anything about epistemic certainty?
Nope.
Did anybody hear me say one fucking thing about epistemic certainty, right? But the first thing that Dionysus says is, you want epistemic certainty, right? And then completely strawmans my position, right? Now, why does he completely strawman my position? Well, A, because he's a complete fucking dumbass, right? He doesn't know how to address the objection. 2, because he's a complete fucking dishonest dumbass, right? And has no other recourse but to strawman my objection rather than address my objection, right? Now, why do we want to fucking listen to him even respond to me, right? What's he going to do? Give us another straw man? Start engaging in personal attacks on my character, right? Start trying to bring up irrelevant discussions that took place in the past where he thinks he got the better of somebody else, right? None of it is going to change the fact, right, that he just looks for evidence that supports what he already wants to believe, right? And then claims that he was justified when he finds that evidence, right? If he finds it, which must be rare enough, right? So why would we even want to listen to him even respond?
I have not heard a massacre this bad in a
I don't know,
long
because
time.
I don't know, maybe you'll fight him more. Maybe that's why people want to hear him respond. I don't know.
Gosh.
Were you talking that whole time? You were muted.
No. I'm just wondering, like, why am I not being able to engage in Jack fairly? He's obviously
fairly. You straw man.
Why you're interrupting me right now again, Sam? How come you're not using moderations against him?
Right, rather than address the
why do we have to listen to this fucking windpipe? Go,
somebody
shut your fucking pie hole, dude.
Somebody mute him.
Somebody mute him. You're fucking.
Somebody mute him. Mute him.
Dionysus, it does look bad for Jack that he has to overtalk and attack you with your hands tied back. His Dionysus' hands tied behind his back with a mute.
Shut up. How is it fair to anybody, right? How is it fair to anybody, right, to listen to an idiot straw man?
You're making yourself look bad right now, Jack.
Stop over talking.
You're over talking me.
Over talking me.
You're the one who looks bad right now, Jack, not me, buddy.
I don't care if I'm over.
I know you don't care.
Yeah, shut up.
No, I won't shut up.
Is somebody?
You know what, Jack? Even if I am a dumbass, at least I can afford to put food in my mouth and don't have to rely on others to take care of me.
Is there a moderator in the room who's going to mute him and prevent him from over talking me?
Dude, you've been doing that to me this entire time.
I don't care that I've been doing it.
Yeah, you don't care, right? But that's not how this shit works, buddy.
That's why I'm asking the question, right? Because if people are going to let you continue to overtalk me, I'm not going to continue to engage.
Then shut up. I don't want to hear you.
Yeah, I'm not asking you for your opinion, right? I'm asking the mods.
Sam's in charge.
Sam, are you going to keep letting him
Theo, you're going to have to quit over talking.
I'm not. Okay, Sam. No, Sam, honestly, who do you think's over talking mostly right now?
I'm not going.
I'm not talking to you, Jack. Shut up. Sam, who do you think is over talking who right now the most?
What's the answer?
Did he just get muted?
I think Sam took off.
Did you mute Jack, Theo?
Yes, I muted Jack because you overtalked me over and over again.
Okay.
Okay, you unmuted.
That's the end of this discussion.
Yeah, that's what I thought, faggot. And maybe why don't you get a fucking job so you can actually pay for your own food, faggot, and stop relying on a trust fund. Look, this guy spent his entire trust fund on prostitutes, right? This is an honorable man, right? This is an honorable man. This is the guy that you guys look up to, right? Look, go buy another prostitute, dude. Go buy yourself another prostitute, all right? You fucking degenerate
somebody
faggot.
engaging in personal attack.
Yeah, it is a personal attack. It is a personal attack, faggot. That's the whole point of it. Go buy another prostitute, you fucking degenerate faggot. Go buy another prostitute. You can't even afford to pay for your own food because you spent all your money on prostitutes. Fucking degenerate.
This is the newest video on my channel.
Dio, but seriously,
maybe if you didn't spend all your money on prostitutes, maybe you could.
How long did Dio do this?
Maybe if you didn't spend all your money on prostitutes, maybe you could pay for your own food, faggot.
How long are you going to listen to this?
Not do personal attacks, man. You can't function.
Yeah, but what difference does it make? Do we really need to establish, right, that Dionysus is like intellectually worthless, right, and pathetic in his personal life, right? You guys have spent what, like what, 1,000 days doing that, right, cumulatively, right? It's just over and over again, right? It's become a standing joke, right? We don't need to attack Dionysus for his personal life, right? It's not like that's a mystery to anybody.
Dude, are you serious? Look at your personal life, dude. I am much more successful than you are, you faggot. I am much more successful than you are because you don't work. You don't work.
Why do you
don't work?
Him bloviate? Why?
You don't work. Jack, when's the last time you worked, dude?
Why would I be interested in
when's the last time you worked, buddy?
with you, right, about my personal
This
life?
is a guy who spent all his money from a trust fund on prostitutes and depends on other people's charity to take care of him. Like his buddy Karl Marx, right?
Is your inability.
Yeah, but at least I can pay for my food, you faggot. At least I just bought myself a sandwich because I can pay for my own shit.
What difference would that make about you being able to defend?
Because if you were so smart, it seems that you would be able to take care of yourself.
How would that make it the case that you're able to defend what you believe?
I said, obviously, I'm not the idiot because at least I can pay for my own shit, all right?
I don't see that there's any connection.
Yeah, there's a huge connection.
Yeah, what's the connection?
Because intelligent people, right? It's a good inference to make that intelligent people are independent and can take care of themselves, right?
Who said that
you that doesn't mean that you can. That doesn't mean that you can support your view on this claim, right? It doesn't follow from the fact that you can provide. I mean, like, look, a lot of people in this server have claims that they disagree or that you disagree with, right, Dionysus? But are you arguing that since they can feed themselves, that then therefore for their claims? It's ridiculous, right?
No, Josh. He's trying to. I'm saying something more like this, right? And I am using insults and ad homs. But the point of the matter is, he wants to do the whole thing. I'm an idiot. I'm a moron. Ad nauseum, right? Fine, whatever. Look. You know what? It doesn't bother me, Jack. I will grant everything that Jack said. I'm a complete fucking moron. I got the IQ of a fucking 4-year-old, or I have an IQ of 65, right? We'll grant all that. But at the end of the day, buddy, I can get pussy. I don't have to pay for it, right? and I can put food in my mouth. All right, faggot.
Okay. Now, what is this guy is trying to preserve his self-respect, right, by engaging in personal attacks, right?
Because I said it was a personal attack before I said it, you fucking moron.
Stop over talking, Dio.
He has no way of addressing the objection, so all he can try to do over and over again is lash out at the people who are criticizing him, right? Because he can't actually defend himself against the objection. So how many more times are we going to listen to Dionysus lash out, engage in personal attacks, straw man people, whatever else he does, right, before we get tired of it?
Probably another 25 minutes.
How convenient of you, Sam, to fuck off right in the heat of battle, you fucking coward.
I guess your question just sort of seems rhetorical, Jeff.
What question?
Why would we listen to him do this or that or whatever?
Yeah, it's rhetorical. I don't see the point of us listening to him.
I mean, people just are just entertained by the shit show.
No, it's not the shit show, right? All he does is bloviate all day long. Why is that entertaining?
Well, I guess because it ends up triggering people like you, and me, and whoever, right?
Should we address your racism then, Jack?
Jack was being racist?
Yeah. Yeah, he said he said that Dio was probably the worst in the entire Western Hemisphere, which implies there's always going to be someone worse in the East.
Well, he has no way to justify that, right? Let's just play his own game. How do you quantify that, Jack? Where's the evidence?
Dionysus wants you to try to give an argument to establish that he's the dumbest person in the history.
Yeah, let's do it. Where's the justification, Jack?
Do you understand that it was like an insult?
He can't support his claim.
Do you understand that it was an insult? And like,
Yes, I understand it was an insult.
do insults have to be true?
Wait, what's that?
Do insults have to be true?
I never said that insults have to be true.
Yeah, so I don't understand what the point is. It's a rhetorical tactic. It's not.
I'm doing the same thing.
He wasn't sincerely avowing a view that he holds. So
Yeah,
to
I know.
ask him for support, it's just dumb.
I was just making fun of him. That's all I was doing when I did that.
Yeah, but in doing that, you're just ending up looking dumb yourself. So that's not a good tactic.
Oh fuck.
First of all, Jack is wrong about the anal sex thing. I actually am not even interested. I didn't go looking for information through some type of confirmation bias. I came across it just by a coincidence, and it didn't even suggest that was the cause. And I started to wonder to myself, because I think, unlike Jack, which is nothing but dogmatism, right? I think to myself, like, what could be causing a rise in anal cancer with females, right? Like with young females, this is strange. So I'm actually hearing about this. I think Declan told me a story about a young female who has colon cancer, right? So I've been thinking about this subject because this has been presented to me. I didn't go out looking for it. So Jack's just outright wrong on that issue. So I formed an hypothesis. I'm thinking to myself, well, it seems that anal sex with heterosexual couples seems to be more acceptable and more practiced today than it had been in the past. So we looked at the data seems to support it. So Jack, you're just wrong. You just look stupid again.
Well, you didn't say I'm willing to bet that it's the case because I've looked at the data, right? So you're just lying, right? When you said you were willing to bet that was the case, it was because you hadn't looked at any data, right?
No, I never said I didn't look at the data.
You said
all I said is I'd be willing to bet
that this is the case, right? And you didn't say, "Oh, I'm willing to bet that this is the case because I happen to have looked at the scientific data, and therefore I know that I'd be likely to win the bet, right? Because I knew the evidence was on my side."
Where do you think I came? Jack, where do you think I came from?
You were appealing merely to your intuition.
Right? Well, hey, Jack.
My point is that if in fact the data happen to support your intuition, that's
right.
Just the Gettier case, right? That doesn't show that you're any less of a dumbass, right? For being stupid enough, right, to be willing to bet on something that you had no independent justification for.
Again, right? I had seen enough evidence where I had seen enough evidence,
so you're
right?
so stupid, right?
Okay, I'm stupid. All right, Jack, I got it. I'm stupid. All right, buddy.
So stupid.
I'm so stupid. I got it. I'm so stupid.
You're so stupid that
so stupid. I'm so stupid.
You're so stupid.
You're so stupid. I'm so stupid.
You're so stupid.
You're so stupid.
You don't even understand.
You don't even understand the Gettier's case. You're so stupid. You would make an inference like that while looking at the Gettier case. You're so stupid.
Me, Sam. You're so stupid.
You're so stupid.
Understand.
You're so stupid.
Ex post justification for something you already believe. Right?
How do you know? How do you know? I didn't. What, you think I just one day decided I wanted to believe that, Jack? You think I just walked down the street and said, you know what? I want to believe that women are getting ass cancer because of.
Doesn't make you any less of a dumbass.
I'm a dumbass. I got it. Okay, but you think I just walked down the street one day and decided, I'm gonna pick up the torch on this?
I think the argument that I'm making.
Let me ask you a question.
The argument that
I wasn't listening.
Okay.
So
what is the point of us listening to you?
Because you're not listening to me.
You're not going to address the objection, which you can't.
I'm treating you the way that you're treating me.
Because you haven't listened to it.
I'm treating you the way that you're treating me, Jack.
What's the point of it?
All right. Now, do you think that I just decided to pick up the torch and say, you know what? I think ass cancer with women, I don't even know. I didn't look at any data, but I just formed this hypothesis.
Did you mute him?
No, I didn't mute him. Just sui generis, right? I just formed this hypothesis, right? That ass cancer and women were getting it, and it was because of anal sex. You think that just popped into my head automatically, right? Is that what you think?
You claim to be willing
answer the question, yes or no. Answer the fucking question, yes or no. Yes or no? Do you think I just came up with that sui
You
generis?
claim to be willing to bet on things that you have
Do you
no independent
answer the question,
justification
Jack?
for.
I'm trying to show you where you're wrong, right?
Claim to
All
be
right.
willing to bet on things
All right.
that you have no independent
Okay,
justification
follow.
for. You
Look, I
claim
know it's
to
hard to
be
follow
willing
along,
to
dude.
bet
I know
on
you're getting old in
things.
age, but come on, buddy.
You claim to be willing to bet on things that you have no independent justification for all the time.
I'm asking you a
right?
question. Do you think?
That is the objection that
I'm
making,
showing you. Okay,
right?
I got it. I can repeat it to you. Do you want me to repeat it to you?
Go ahead.
Okay, you're saying that I was willing to. I'm a dumbass, right? Because I was willing to make a bet without any justification for having that belief, right? Okay,
Do that
we got
all
that. I didn't get it perfect, but I got it. I think I got it good enough. I think the room is convinced that I understood what your point is. Now,
yeah.
Do you think? Let me ask you a question. That's my turn. Do you think that like I said, do you think it just popped in my head and I said, look, I'm just willing to make a bet on this? Do you think that's what happened?
I don't see what difference it makes.
Just answer the question, yes or no.
The question is, why would we be interested?
Yes or no? Just answer the question.
The question is, why?
You're such a dude. You're such a dishonest debater.
The question is, why would we be interested in listening to somebody who does that all the time?
I'm asking you a question. Do you think? Does anybody in the room think I just walked down the street and that popped in my head?
Bloviate for 12 hours a day.
Notice how you want to answer the question, right?
So here's a person.
Notice how you want to answer the question, right?
So let me just restate the problem again, right? We have a person.
Yeah, I can repeat it to you, Jack. You want me to repeat it? Everybody got it.
Stop over-talking me.
But stop saying the same stuff. Stop saying the same shit.
Stop over-talking me.
Say something new.
Sam, are you going to continue to let him over-talk me?
Stop saying the same shit, Jack.
Sam, if you want to pass off duties to me, I'm more than happy to help you out here.
No, it's fine. Fuck you, Declan, for that coward comment. You're a little. All right, I just had to get that there. Dio, you're gonna have to let Jack.
Prove me wrong, then. Prove me wrong.
I will. I will stick my dick in your ass, you little faggot.
Let's see
it. Sam's gonna give Declan colon cancer.
I really want this video, anyway, guys, because Jack is making a complete fool out of himself in this conversation. I really want this video. So if anybody's recording it, please send it to me.
Okay, so the question on the table is, right, we have a person, right, who it's been established, right, is the most intellectually dishonest person in the history of the Western world. We don't need to rehearse that, right? There's a whole archive of recordings of Dionysus being exposed for his idiocy, right, being shown to be wrong over and over again, never changing his mind, right? There's no need for us to debate any of that. Right? That's been debated hundreds of times. We don't have to rehearse any of that, right? I'm simply asking the question, right? We have a person like that who's now complaining, right, about the intellectual dishonesty of other people, right? As if he were somehow intellectually honest, right? I mean, he could get away with saying it. It's true that I'm like the most intellectually dishonest person in the world, but that doesn't make intellectual dishonesty in other people, right, any less acceptable, or I'm sorry, any more acceptable, right? He could have said that, in which case it would have been unobjectionable, right? But of course, what he was trying to pretend was that he was the intellectually honest one and everybody else was intellectually dishonest, right? And I'm simply asking the question, why would we want to listen to that, right? There's no point in trying to debate in Dionysus trying to defend himself as if he was intellectually honest. That would just be to go over all the debates that we've had before, right? And many of us have learned there's no point in debating somebody like Dionysus, right? It's not like any argument would ever convince him that he was wrong about anything, right? He just debates completely dishonestly, right? So people who've engaged, some people at least who've engaged with Dionysus several times in the past, have come to the conclusion that it's pointless even to engage him, right? So I'm not interested in getting into a debate with Dionysus about anything, right? I'm simply asking the question, right? Why would we want to listen to somebody, right, who we've established is completely fucking dishonest, bloviate about how other people are intellectually dishonest? I just don't understand it.
Okay, in order to show that someone's dishonest, you have to show intention, right? deceit, you have to show mens rea, right? Criminal intent. It means that you have to be intentionally trying to be dishonest. Misspeaking and catching me misspeaking is not catching me and being dishonest, right? Do you understand that, Jack?
Well, there are a lot of instances of times when it's been pointed out to you that you knowingly said something that was false, you know. And then there's another point where you're just biased towards, like, you're trying to find research for some colon cancer claim that you made, but then you apply a double standard to when someone tries to show you that homosexuality and rearing children isn't negative. That's all intellectual dishonesty, you know.
Did you hear the entire discussion of Josh, while that was brought up?
Maybe not. I don't know.
Well, I'll go through it another time. I don't think that the room has the patience to listen to that part again. But no, but I mean, as far as the colon cancer thing, like I said, I didn't just sui generis, this just popped in my head, right, without a cause. I didn't just decide to go after people who enjoyed anal sex, right? Like, I don't have an agenda against people who enjoy anal sex, right? And so I did see something, right, that I read, and it was particularly towards females, right, having an increased rise in anal cancer that were young. And I thought to myself, what could be causing this, right? I formed an hypothesis. This is what educated people do, right? They think. It's called critical thinking. I said, well, it does seem to be, and anal sex does seem to be more accepted and more practiced today than it had been in the past. As far as I'm aware, maybe I'm incorrect, but as far as I'm aware of, it seems to be the case. So we made an hypothesis. We looked up the data. People thought it was laughed at. Jack made a comment yesterday about it. Today, or earlier this morning, Tom, I, Leela, a few others, we looked at the evidence, and the evidence seemed to support the claim that I had already seen. Right? It wasn't like I was talking out of my ass. So you just think like the evidence seems to support my claim, Jack?
My point is that if the evidence did support your claim,
I can think of 5 reasons.
That's a Gettier case, right? Now, Josh, just so you know, what actually brought this up was that last night, Dionysus started talking about how he thought that gay couples raising children was like unhealthy for society.
I didn't bring it up,
right?
By the way.
And so Ix, said, well, yeah, have you looked at the studies, right, on this question, right? And so Dionysus, so of course, I don't know whether, I haven't looked at these studies, so I don't know whether we should have confidence in these studies or not, right? But apparently Ix had looked at the studies, right? And he just asked Dionysus if Dionysus had looked at the studies, right? And so Dionysus today
Well, I know what happened.
Dionysus said he was not interested in looking at the studies, right? And what he said today was that he's not interested in looking at any of the studies, right, in the social sciences or any studies in science at all, right? Because he doesn't have confidence in the scientific community, right, producing reliable studies because of their leftist ideology, right? And his defense of that was to say that people had pilloried John Watson, right, for his, racist remarks on IQ, right? Now, of course, Dionysus knows perfectly well that he's never been able to defend any of his claims about IQ.
That's not true. I've give you mountain of evidence.
That he's been presented with all kinds of arguments about IQ, right?
I've given you mountains of evidence, Jack.
Can somebody stop him from over-talking me? He knows perfectly well, right? He's had people like Yaniv try to talk to him about this, right? And everything he's ever come up with on the IQ issue has turned out to be absolute garbage, right? And yet he's continued to try to find all kinds of things, right? Any little scrap of evidence, right, in order to shore up his belief in IQ, right? Because it's just pure motivated reasoning, right? He just doesn't want to give up on the idea, right, that whites have higher IQ.
Actually, I'm not that much interested in IQ.
Shut him up. He doesn't want to give up. Somebody mute him, please. He can't bear to give up. He can't bear to give up the idea that IQ is not a measure of intelligence, right? That intelligence isn't distributed unequally among the races, right? He knows perfectly well he's been humiliated on that 1,000 times, right? But now, right, he wants to continue under the lie that there's good evidence for all this IQ and race stuff, right? And he wants to say that people were not justified in saying that John Watson had no intellectual credibility whatsoever to make the claims that he did, right? Because they're just pure garbage, right? Pure garbage claims about IQ.
Yeah, you know better than James
Shut
Watson.
him up. Shut him up.
You know better than James
Watson. Shut him up. That have been debunked about 1,000 times, right? And so because John Watson, a complete fucking idiot, right? A complete fucking idiot, right? Who spouts off about IQ, right? And repeats all kinds of claims that have been debunked about 400,000 times, right? Because John Watson, right, has been stripped of his honors by people, right, who understand, right, the complete fucking idiocy that he
discovered DNA, but he's an idiot, right?
Shut him up. Shut him up.
He discovered DNA, but he's an idiot.
Shut him up. Shut him up.
Yeah, what an idiot. What have you discovered, Jack?
Shut him up. What
have you discovered besides a prostitute, Jack?
Because people have decided to strip John Watson of his honors because of dumb stuff that he said about IQ, right? Which Dionysus knows perfectly well is dumb because he's been exposed on it 400,000 times himself, right? Because that's the case. He doesn't have any confidence in the scientific community.
What have you discovered besides a prostitute, Jack?
And so that was when he delivered the pronouncement, right, that these people are just intellectually dishonest, right? The most intellectually dishonest person in the entire history of the Western world making a pronouncement that other people are intellectual dishonest.
Okay, so listen to what...
All
right, are you done, Jack? Can you be more succinct?
Without the caveat, yes, I'm even more dishonest than they are.
All right, hurry up, sweetheart.
Sweetheart,
hurry up. Hurry up.
Then it would have been okay.
Okay, sweetheart. All right, so listen, Jack. Listen to what Jack is saying, guys. Jack is saying James Watson, the discovery of DNA, right, is a fucking idiot, right? A guy who the only thing that Jack has ever discovered, right, was an empty wallet and a prostitute, right? And he has the audacity to say James Watson, the discovery of DNA, is a fucking moron. Listen to this, and this is the guy that some of you guys follow. This fucking moron.
Now,
it's laughable.
Let's look at what Dionysus said. Isaac knew. So what he said
here, and he says that he's starstruck. Right? He's starstruck. He's a fan of mine.
What if his views changed?
No,
they didn't change that fast,
dude.
They didn't change that fast.
How long ago was when he typed that stuff?
Not 7 days ago. No, I don't think so.
No, what he was saying in the Godless server, when I heard him on voice chat, he was saying he was a theist. He was trying to argue theism. He was getting bullied and crushed, and I thought, oh, this is a good guy. So I personally messaged him. I said, hey, man, you shouldn't just go in there without a posse or be willing to talk over people, or because they will bully you and they won't let you talk. And
right, but what did we reveal here? What did we reveal here? Okay, I gave this guy a lot of slack, and he was lying through his teeth.
Yeah.
Okay.
If he changed, then all he would have to have done was
and as I continued to question, he realized, this hypocritical moron idiot crushing atheism knows something about me. Then he started to waffle on what he had previously stated. And so what did we learn here today? Is we have people who will come in here and lie through their teeth.
And if he really wanted to change, and if he had, excuse me, and if he had changed within the past week or so, then why didn't he come to you in private first?
why would he come here and put on a pretense in public like this?
Well, he just said this this Monday. Okay, if we grant that someone changed their opinion in 3 days, come on. Now, Darth, speaking of getting banned for not following the rules of the server,
and dishonesty, right?
Jack, do you think?
And I'm going to
Jack,
have to pick apart how all he did was engage in ad hominems and engage in straw man, right? And engage in invalid inferences and nowhere defend himself against the charges that have been leveled against him, right? And we're just going to go through the same cycle again, right? Now, what is the point of doing that? What is the point of even asking him to respond, right? I mean, the guy is a gibbering fucking idiot, right? He cannot reason his way out of a paper bag, right? And we're going to ask him to try to defend himself? I mean, what is the point of that? All he's going to do, right, is try to talk about me and prostitutes again.
well, I mean, I think it's. Can I get unmuted? Am I?
No, you are muted and you have the floor now. Go ahead.
No, I think it's hilarious that Jack keeps saying that I'm the person lashing out. I mean, I think he's called me stupid. I don't know if he thinks that's effective, like it bothers me or something, but I think he's called me stupid at least. I mean, I think maybe 150 times so far, right? And he's gonna have the audacity to say that I'm the one that lashing out. And get real, Jack. Now, first, let's go back to what was originally said. You didn't specify when you called James Watson a complete moron that you were only particularly talking about this particular domain, right? You said that after the fact, you retracted it, right? And you tried to slide that in with through the use of a sleight of hand to try to say, well, no, that's not what I said. Gio's fucking stupid. If he thinks that I'm saying that James Watson's a complete fucking moron, that's not what I'm saying. But you're the one who's being dishonest, and we actually have this recorded, so we can go back to listen to it. And Jack, I promise you that there's two things I'm going to tell you. I promise you this. I am going to be right when we listen to this recording, right? And you're not going to look good. And the second thing I'm going to say, and this is a personal attack, is I am better than you as a man in every regard except talking, right? You talk a lot. You're very good at talking. You do it a lot. And that's it, all right? In every regard, I'm a better man than you are, all right? Know that.
I mean, how pathetic is it, right? He went back to the Watson thing, right? He thinks that somehow the fact that Watson discovered DNA, right, doesn't mean that when Watson talks about IQ and race, he isn't just saying complete dumb numbskullery, right? That's tautology, right? That whenever James Watson opens his mouth, right, and talks about race and IQ, right, that what he says is anything smarter than an idiot like Dionysus says about race and IQ, right? It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't follow from the fact that he was smart enough to discover or co-discover DNA, right? Doesn't follow from the fact that he has anything insightful or useful or interesting or true to say about race and IQ. If you look at what he had to say about race and IQ, it's pure dumbassery, right? So it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant, right? That in the 1950s, right, he had the intellectual rigor to discover the DNA molecule, right? So once again, this is just you, right, looking for a little life raft, right, in the midst of your total destruction here.
Jack, I'm done with you, buddy.
You're a waste of total destruction here. Shut him up. In the midst of your total destruction here, right, you try to nitpick on some tiny little thing that I've said that you think somehow hope will discredit everything that I've said right? When in fact it's entirely irrelevant to the issue at hand, right? Which is that when James Watson talks about talks about IQ and race, he's a complete fucking numbskull, right? He's never said anything that, remotely stood up to scrutiny on that issue, right? But of course, that's what you want to focus on, that somehow I'm guilty, right? I'm guilty of trying to suggest that the co-discoverer of DNA, doesn't have any intelligence at all, or never had any intelligence at all, right? And that's somehow going to make it the case, right, that I wasn't justified, right, in trying to defend people who are angry about James Watson, right, for saying complete dumbass stuff, right? And then again, right?
All
You
right,
made the
Jack.
claim. Then
You've
again,
gotten a lot of airtime on this one. Let Theo chime in.
wait a minute. I didn't even get to address the ad hominem, you fucker. This fucking guy tries to tell me that he's a better guy than me, and you're going to tell me that I've gotten a lot of airtime, right? So once again, it's important to stress, right, that rather than address the argument, again, just as I predicted, right, we had him engaging in more personal attacks on me rather than address the objection, right? Now, Sam, I want you to explain to me, right, how it's fair to anybody, right? How it's fair to anybody to give more airtime to Dionysus so that he can engage in more personal attacks rather than address the objection. Can you answer that, Sam? How is that fair to anybody?
To be honest, I think you're both engaging in personal attacks at this point.
So you
are you cutting out or?
You don't think I made a valid objection to what Dionysus said?
It's a mix. I think you made a valid objection when he was talking about you calling the scientist an idiot, right? But
I'm not talking about that, right?
I also think.
Let's just get it straight, Sam, okay? This is a person who said that he doesn't want to accept any scientific studies at all, right? Because people pilloried John Watson, right? Now, what did they pillory him? What did they pillory John Watson on, right? On his remarks about race and IQ, right? Now, I take it that you understand that the race and IQ issue has been discussed with Dionysus about 400,000 times on here, right? And Dionysus has been shown to be completely dishonest, right? And completely unable to defend the stuff that he says about race and IQ, right? Are we in agreement about that?
I agree with you on that, yeah.
Yeah. So now would it make any sense for somebody to say that he is justified in rejecting the pronouncements of the scientific community because they pilloried John Watson for his ignorant remarks on race and IQ? When Dionysus knows perfectly well, right, that he couldn't defend any of the stuff that John Watson said?
Let me just be clear on something. I'm not saying Di was justified in rejecting like what's commonly accepted science. All I was trying to say is just giving Dio a chance to respond to what you were saying. I wasn't agreeing with Dio.
That's the issue that's under discussion here, right? Now, how is it fair to give him airtime to try to engage in ad hominems on me rather than address that objection?
I mean, I assume his response was going to be a mix of both.
A mix?
Is he cutting out for anyone else or?
Either that or his head blew up.
What's one valid thing that he said in response to that objection? Since the entire discussion began, right?
Honestly,
tell me one thing that he said, right, that is in any way addressed that objection.
Honestly, up until now, nothing.
Yeah. Okay. So then it doesn't really make sense, right, that we've been here a fucking hour, right, since we've made this objection, and he hasn't said one single valid thing, right, in response to that objection. So how are you talking about fairness and airtime, right, when he's wasted all of our time He's wasted a fucking hour of our time.
I mean, Jack, would you rather I just not give Dio a chance to respond to anything you're
Yes,
saying?
that's the whole point of this, right? Why would we listen to a complete fucking idiot bloviate for 12 hours?
Is Jack still talking?
What is the
So I
point?
think that. So I mean, I don't know. I don't really like the tension between Sam and Jack. If I can sort of mediate here, Sam isn't like running the room in accordance with his own aims, and neither am I, or is any other moderator, right? So it's like trying to keep this balance where Godless is stressed about moderation and the aims that her aims, it's like a tightrope, right? So it's hard for you
Oh wait,
to
did Dionysus